Well, we are in the final days of counting down to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And based on what Jason Momoa has said recently, well, it does really appear that this is the end of the road for him as Arthur Curry. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about exactly what he said and why this felt like the definitive closing of the book. Now, before we do that, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we want to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are really in the know. Well, the box office prospects for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom were really not looking too great. The film was tracking even worse than The Flash. And to make things worse, a couple statements from Jason Momoa, well, quite honestly, I think they totally sunk the project. Now, it's been pretty clear from fans that there is very limited interest in the old DCEU after January's DCU slate reveal. And the final chapter in the old DC universe is coming our way in a week or two, but the future status of Jason Momoa as Aquaman was unclear, and now Momoa seems to have confirmed it, and it's not exactly a great selling point for the sequel. Now, recently the actor was talking to Entertainment Tonight, and what he had to say was, well, not so great. In the interview he said, "I don't necessarily want it to be the end, but I don't think it is really like a choice." And then went on to explain that because James Gunn and Peter Safran want to, and I quote, "start their own new thing," that things seem to be wrapping up. Now, he did go on to say that if the audience love it, then there is a possibility, but right now, and I quote, "it's not looking too good." Now, sadly, this is the box that DC Studios has been in all year. The biggest problem has been we've known that the new DC Universe is coming since James Gunn took over last year, and it definitely seemed to impact the box office of everything that's come since. The movies have kind of done worse and worse, with every one of them seriously underperforming or flat out flopping. And now I do suspect Aquaman is going to be the cherry on top and could unfortunately be the worst of the bunch. As for whether or not Momoa will return to the DCU, swapping out Aquaman for Lobo, in that same interview he said, and I quote, "If there's a place in the world for me, I would love to be part of it. This is my home. Warner and DC is definitely my home." So that's all I'll say. I was a big Lobo fan growing up. I read every comic, so that would be really cool. Now, we've all known he's wanted to play Lobo for a really long time, and based on some events over the last year, I actually think that's fully lined up, but they're all being fully committed to the Lost Kingdom to give it its best shot at doing well in theaters, and once that ship sails, or sinks in this case, I think then you'll start to see a lot of movement very fast, moving Momoa from Atlantis to outer space and taking up the role of the main man. How all that works out, well, we're gonna have to wait and see.